KURINJI Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
KURINJI Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Hi students, today onwards we are going to discuss the most important chapter from 11th standard chemistry, structure of atom. Already in my previous classes I completed two major important chapters, some basic concept of chemistry and classification of the periodic table. But the structure of atom chapter is the most important, not only in 11th standard, is interrelated to the 12th standard portions. So that's why my dear students, every student is compulsory to watch all videos. Okay na? Today onwards you will start the entire atomic structure chapter. Okay ma? Hi students, good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the most important chapter from 11th standard, structure of atom or atomic structure. See, this is the most important chapter in the physical chemistry branch point of view. Number of fundamentals, rules and regulations are present in this chapter. Because of these rules and regulations are interrelated to other chapters in physical chemistry. So that's why every students are compulsory to learn the complete information regarding to the structure of atom. See here, one more important point, the structure of atom is a basic chapter in chemistry. Because of, you know that very well, the matter is made up of molecules, molecules are made up of atoms. So atoms also contains electron, proton, neutron. So the complete structure of atom, the entire information about the structure of atom very clearly to be explained in this chapter. Because of there are a number of the scientists did lot of experiments on atom. So the entire all experiment is also coming in this chapter. So my dear student, it is the most important chapter in 11th standard. So every student listen very carefully. Now see first one, basic important points now. Structure of atom or atomic structure. It means this chapter is very clearly to be explained inside of atom. Inside of the atom, what type of particles are there, how they are arranged in the inside of the atom, the complete information is explained by structure of atom. Structure, complete the structure of atom. Okay, Nana? So from 16th century onwards, number of scientists did lot of experiments on atom. Now in this session, in this chapter, we will discuss how many scientists are attempted define to atom information. The complete information is also discussed here. So the first one, see here carefully. Every matter is made up of molecules. Listen very carefully, my dear students. Every matter it's made up of molecules. Molecules are contains very tiniest particle that is called atoms. Again, atoms are present or atoms are made up of very small subatomic particles, that's are electron, proton, neutron. This is the basic information right now. But before 17th century or before 16th century, lot of the philosophers or number of the scientists are strongly believed matter is made up of molecules and molecules made up of atoms. Just only atoms because of every matter contains molecule contains the atoms. But in 16th century, 17th century, scientists are strongly believed atoms are last particle in the matter. no one can't breakable to the atom. That's why most of the scientists are strongly to believed matter made up of molecule and molecule made up of atom. Atom is the ultimate particle. Atoms are the ultimate particle of matter. No one can't cuttable of matter, no one can't visible of the matter. That's why in initial scientists they strongly believed matter made up of molecule, molecules contains only atom, no one can't breakable to the atoms. This is the initial information. After lot of experiments is did, lot of experiment to say atom is also contains some particle. Those particles are called electrons and proton and neutron. Electron and proton and neutron. So who was discovered first time electron? Who was discovered first time proton? Who has discovered first time neutron? The complete information is also going to discuss in this chapter. Now see here, Rana, keep it in your mind. Every matter is made up of molecule. Molecules are made up of atom. But this is the initially statement. But present statement, atoms also containing some particle such as electron, proton, neutron. So how they are arranged in the inside of the atom, that information is also discussed in this chapter. Okay. Now one more important point, matters. So you know that very well, already explained in 11th first chapter. Matters are two types, physical classification of the matter, chemical classification of the matter. In case of physical classification of the matter, matter can be existed in normal temperature. Matter can be existed in normal temperature, three the solid matter, liquid matter, gaseous matter. But in extremely condition, matter can also existed extremely condition. That is one, first one plasma, extremely conditioned matter. Second one Bose-Einstein condensate, and third one is a fermoic condensate. So ultimately, my dear student, in our nature there are 6 physical states of the matters are there. The first one is the solid, second one is the liquid, third one is the gaseous. These 3 matters can easily to existed even in earth surface, earth atmosphere. But plasma, Bose-Einstein condensate, fermoic condensate, these are also matter, but Bose-Einstein condensate, fermoic condensate are the synthetic matter. The scientists are prepared in the laboratory only, but it's not existed in normal temperature, huge temperature such as 3000 to 4000 degrees centigrade Celsius temperature is existed. Which one is existed? Plasma, Bose-Einstein condensate and fermoic condensate. But these 3 matters not required right now. The first initial matters are important: solid, liquid, gases. So every solid matter or every liquid matter or every gaseous matter contains definitely molecules. Not only solid, not only liquid or not only gases, every matter should be contain the molecule, and every molecule is made up of atom. This is a basic statement. Okay, Nana? See, Nana, come to the point. The first atomic theory regarding to explanations of atom, Dalton atomic theory. This is the most important question in 11th standard board level. Actually, in exam point of view, Dalton atomic theory is the most important. See, my dear student, the first time in 18th century period, the John Dalton, England scientist, he suggested some postulates regarding to the atoms. So what kind of statement he suggested? The complete postulates are discussed in this theory. So that's why first theory is the Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. First point, John Dalton in 1808 proposed matter to be composed of small individual particles are called atom, according to John Dalton. So John Dalton suggested first important point, matter to be composed of small individual particles are called atom. But atoms are together to form molecule. That statement is also he said. But now basically first important point from the Dalton atomic theory, John Dalton proposed matter to be composed of small individual particles called atom, which are assumed to be structureless particle. So there is no any structure. Yeah, obviously the initial days scientists are there strongly suggested, strongly believed atom is the ultimate particle of the matter. No one can't visible, no one can't cuttable, no one can't breakable, and moreover it is a structureless particle. Atoms are the structureless particle. This is the first point from the Dalton atomic theory. Second point, see now. Second point, this concept of structural particles. Here structural particles are nothing but atoms. This concept of structural particles could not explain how atoms are different for different element and why atoms of different element combine with one another. So these structureless particles are nothing but actually atoms are different for different element. You know that different element contains different type of atoms. Same elements contain same type of atom. For example, Cl2. So Cl2 means is one of the element. It contains two same identical atom, chlorine to chlorine. Appo this element, why if two chlorine atoms present in the chlorine molecule, why it's not explain the structure, he couldn't explain. So this is also second important point, Nana. This concept of structureless particles could not explain how atoms are different for different elements and why atoms of different element combine with one another. Okay, now next. Third important point, however, by the end of the 19th century, it was discovered that atoms consist of subatomic particles such as electrons and protons and neutrons. But up to end of the 18th century, all scientists are strongly believed atoms are lost particle. But in 19th century experiments are suggested some important points. So atoms also consist of some particle. That particle names are subatomic particle such as electrons, protons and neutrons. So my dear students, before Dalton's atomic theory, our Indian monk, our Indian saint, one of the Indian monk and Indian saint, name is Maharshi Kanada. He also clearly explained matter is made up of molecules, molecules are made up of atoms. But he said in Sanskrit language. So matter is nothing but Padartha. Padartha is made up of Anus. Anus is made up of Paramanus. Anus is made up of Paramanus. So in Indian monk, one of the Indian monk, name is Maharshi Kanada. He said same concept, matter made up of molecule, molecule made up of atoms. So he is explained in the Sanskrit language. So Padartha contains Anus, Anus contains Paramanus. And the same time of the period, in Maharshi Kanada times of period, some Greek philosophers also suggested same statement. Who is that Greek philosophers? Democritus and Leucippus. So Democritus and Leucippus also strongly to believed matter is made up of molecules, molecules are made up of atoms. Matter is made up of molecules, molecules are made up of atoms. Okay student, see here. Another important postulates in Dalton atomic theory. First point, Sinana. The word atom is derived from Greek word. Actually, you know that very well. Matter made up of molecule, molecule made up of atom. But this is the most important bit, Nana. The word atom is derived from the Greek word atomia. What is the word name is? Atomia. It means atom word was derived from the atomia word. Atomia word is the Greek language word. So here see carefully, atoms derived from the atomia from Greek word. And what is the meaning of atomia? Atomia means individual or uncuttable. Though this is the most important, individual particle or uncuttable particle. Listen my dear students, matter made up of molecules, molecules are made up of atoms. So in the initial days, what is the exact meaning of atom? Atoms are nothing but uncuttable particle and an indivisible particle. Okay na? So atom is individual particle, uncuttable. No one can't cuttable, no one can't breakable, and no one can't visible. But in 2020 in this year, already atom is breakable and contains electron, proton, neutron. But still now, why the scientists should be follow the matter made up of molecule made up of atom in this 21st century is also because of it's spread into entire the worldwide is familiarly. That's why the chemist scientist not changes this word still now. So that is the basic reason. But according to olden concept, what is the atom? Atom is nothing but indivisible or uncuttable particle. But after some experiment, atom is also cuttable. It's contain electron, proton, neutron. But still now is also follow the scientist matter made up of molecule made up of atom. There is no changes of any word. Okay na? So that is the most important. Matter is made up of molecule made up of atom. What is the meaning of atom? Atom is nothing but indivisible particle or uncuttable particle. It's derived from the Greek word atomia. So another important point, the term atom was proposed by officially, actually Greek philosophers, before Greek philosophers, Indian monks also suggested matter made up of molecules made up of atom. But officially proposed by, that is the most important, the terms atom was officially proposed by John Dalton. Because of before the John Dalton, number of philosophers, number of scientists also suggested, but the different words. Our Indian monk Maharshi Kanada suggested atom is nothing but parama anu. So but atom word is exactly was proposed by the great scientist John Dalton. Keep it in your mind, important point. The terms atom was proposed by John Dalton. Next, third point from the atomic theory of John Dalton, atoms are fundamental building blocks of the matter. According to John Dalton atomic theory, atoms are fundamental building blocks of the matter. So in constructions of any house, what are the fundamental building blocks? Bricks are the fundamental building blocks. So similarly, he suggested one important point. In case of any matter, atoms are the fundamental building blocks of the matter. This is the first one. And another point is also he suggested atoms are ultimate particle of the matter. Ultimate means is the last particle. So that's why two important points right now here. Atoms are fundamental building blocks of the matter and ultimate particle of the matter. And see fourth one, the matter is made up of small individual particles are called atom, which can take part in chemical reaction. That is the most important point. Atoms only involved in the chemical reaction according to the Dalton atomic theory. Ungalku theriyumu, matter made up of molecules are made up of the atoms, but molecules not involved in the chemical bonding or chemical reaction, atoms only involved in the chemical reaction. This is the fourth point from Dalton atomic theory. Next, fifth point, synonym. The atoms of the same elements are identical in size, mass and in other properties in all respects. So once again, the atoms of the same element are identical in size. So size point of view identical, mass point of view identical, in all properties point of view identical in elements of atoms. This is the fifth point. And sixth point, atoms of different element contain different from each other in their properties. So for example, according to Dalton atomic theory, atoms of the same element contain same properties, atoms of the different element contain different properties. This is a basic point. And sixth one, atoms of different element different from each other in their properties and masses. And seventh point is atoms of different element can combine in simple ratio to form compounds. So atoms, already I said, atoms are only involved in the chemical reaction. So atoms of the different element can combine in the simple ratio to form compound. And last and final postulates from the John Dalton atomic theory, atoms can be neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Already clearly explained, atoms only involved in the chemical reaction. If any one of the atoms are involved in the chemical reaction, they are not neither created nor destroyed. This is the first important 8 postulates about John Dalton atomic theory. So in this theory, some important merit points also there. That's why merits of Dalton theory. Drawbacks are there and merits also there. So what is the major important merits in John Dalton atomic theory? Dalton theory is able to explain law of conservation of mass and law of constant composition and law of multiple proportion. These are the most important laws. Already these all laws I clearly explained in some basic concept of chemistry. So what is the conservation of mass? If any one of the elements are involved in the chemical reaction, reactant masses almost equal to the product mass. That is called conservation of mass. So according to John Dalton theory, it should be followed he explained all laws. What are the laws explained? Conservation of mass laws is also satisfactorily explained, and law of constant composition law also satisfactorily explained, and law of multiple proportion is also satisfactorily explained. This is the basic merit of Dalton atomic theory. Next, drawbacks of John Dalton atomic theory. He failed to explain the internal structure of atom. He couldn't explain what is the structure of atom. Actually, he said matter made up of molecule, molecule made up of the atom. But he can't explain what is the shape and structure of atom. That is a basic drawback in the John Dalton atomic theory. Okay, next, second point. He could not explain how atoms of different elements from one another. So this point also not explained. What is the second point? He could not explain how atoms of different element in different from one another and combine with one another. This point is also not explained. And third point is he failed to explain the experiment like when glass ebonite rubbed with silk for generated electricity. So static electricity. Actually, this experiment glass rod whenever abonated with or otherwise glass rod abonated with silk, static electricity is produced. Why static electricity produced? Because according to atomic theory of the John Dalton, he suggested only one point. What is that point? Matter made up of the molecule, molecule made up of atom, atoms are ultimate particle. But why the static electricity is produced whenever rubbed with silk and glass rod? He can't explain. In further experiments, very clearly to be explained because of atoms also containing some charged particle. If whenever silk cloth is rubbed with glass rod, that particles, the silk silk particles contain electron, proton, neutron, be active, hence to attracted towards the glass rod. That is the next further experiments, Nana. Later I will explain that experiment, but he can't explain this important point. What is the important point? He failed to explain the experiments like when glass ebonite rubbed with silk. Okay, na? This is the most important. And finally, see Nana here, subatomic particle. Matter is made up of molecule, molecules are made up of atoms containing later modern experiments. Atoms also breakable, it containing these three major particle, electron, proton, neutron. Electron charge is negative charge, proton charge is positive charge, neutron charge is no charge. So these what are the three major subatomic particles in an atom? Subatomic particles are electron, proton, neutron. And after that, atoms are the ultimate particle of the matter. And see here one more point. Atoms consist of small particle, electron, proton, neutron. See my dear students, In 18th century experiment or 19th century experiment, scientists are suggested atoms consist of 3 major subatomic particles. Those are electrons, protons or neutron. But the modern experiment, not only these 3 particles, more than 100 particles are present in the atom. Modern experiments are clearly to be explained. Not only electron, proton, neutrons present in an atom, more than 100 particles are present. Now here I write some few particles: neutrino, antineutrino, positron, antipositron, and pinos and mesons. These are the another subatomic particle inside of atom. But major subatomic particles are electron, proton, neutron. Now see here the fundamental particles of atom. What are the fundamental particles of atom? Electron, proton and neutron. So structure of atom, modern theory structure. This is the atom, spherically symmetrical shape. It's made up of nucleus, and electrons is always located in the outer side of the nucleus. Protons and neutrons are located in the inside of the nucleus. That's why, my dear students, proton, neutron located inside of the nucleus, so this is called nucleons. What is the meaning of nucleons? Proton and neutrons are present in the inside of the nucleus. But basic point is these 3 are the subatomic particle. Electron and proton only have charged. So that's why the entire atom out of the 3 particles, 2 charges are there. One is a negative charge, another is the positive charge. Okay, Nana? In this session, I completed the Dalton atomic theory, postulates and drawbacks. So tomorrow, in my next class, my dear students, who was discovered first time electron, proton and neutron. So next class, I will teach discovery of subatomic particles. Electron, who was the first discovery of electron, was the first discovery of the proton, was the first discovery of the neutron. The complete information we will discuss in my next class.